So hello and good afternoon, everyone. So thank you again for joining this video online lesson. So my name is Nabi Fikri, an application engineer from AK Systems. So for today's, I'm going to share with you about the 3D sketch inside of Inventor. Right, so this will be the agenda for today. So first of all, we're going to take a look on how we can go into the 3D sketch environment here. And from here, we're going to start draw using lines and using arcs, spline, and so on. And we also would like to draw with some precisions. So there are options for that. And then we're going to take a look on how we can modify the existing lines, spline, and so on. Then we're going to take a look at the constraint and also dimension. And lastly, we're going to take a look at the surface curve. Right, so let me show you the example here. Right, so let me just open up again my Inventor file. All right, so first of all, you can start with new part files. So any type of template can. Right, so once you got into this interface over here, you should be able to see this 3D model here. And to create a sketch, we have the 2D sketch from here. But to go with the 3D sketch, you can drop down from the 2D here, and then you should be able to see the start 3D sketch from here. So you can just click the 3D sketch and it will pop out the 3D sketch environment. So you can see we have a few tabs. We have the draw tabs here, we have the constraints, and also for the modify here. So first of all, to create, so I'm going to start with using lines. So I can just click a line over here, and then you should be able to see there are axis and also the grid that I can see from here. So if I want to see on the 3D axis, I can just go back to home so that I can see all of the area from here. And then from here, I can start by clicking anywhere that I want, or if I want to start with 0, so I can just start from the center from here. So let me just click at the point here. And with that, I'm starting with the center. And from here, I can just continue to draw. So if I want to draw with the x-axis, so if you want to see the axis itself, you can see there are green, blue, and also the red line over here, which indicate the x, y, and also z-axis from here. So if I want to go along with the x-axis, so first of all, I need to make sure the plane is selected. So when I select this plane, so this one allow me to draw on the y and also x. If I would like to draw on the z and also y, I need to select at the z and y axis, or maybe z and x axis. I can just click down here, and I should be able to draw by using that axis. So to draw that, I can just simply go over here and I can click. If I want to have a more precise size, I can also input the value from here. Maybe I put 15 millimeter, for example. So I have 50 millimeters. And if I want to, I can also drop up. And to do that, I need to change my face first. So for that, I can move up, let's say around 25. Right, so if you notice from here, I have a band automatically on. So if I don't want that, so I can just right click and then I can turn off from there. So if I want that again, so I can just turn on the auto band and it will allow me to create the band area. Now from now, I believe I already turned off. So if I continue to draw, so I can just draw anywhere if I want to, and you see the gizmo will follow on that area. So again, I can just click anywhere on any planes and it will follow from that planes. And I can input the value. And if I want to, I can also input the angle. Right, so it's like normal to the sketch. You can just press tab key to change whether you want to input the value for the angle or the length here. So for this case, I say I put somewhere around 25 and I say around 10. So I have this line here with certain angles. So if I want to, I can also snap. So the 3D sketch still allow you to do some snap that you can use from here. So that is just a line. So if I want to take a look on different other options, so I have arc creation from here. So again, I can just snap somewhere around here, and I can follow and select which plane that I want this arc to follow. And I can continue to select for the third planes. And I have this arc created. Right, so same again with the splines. So I can just click splines. So I can just click anywhere, select which plane that I want to draw into, and you should be able to see the spline has been created. And once I'm done, I can just click OK. So my spline is now available from here. So if I want my drawing a bit more precise, so you can just input the value, but sometimes you might want to also input a coordinate. So with that, you can just click any tools that you want to use from here, maybe lines, and to select based on coordinate, you can go to the draw here and you can select precise input. So this one allow you to draw based on coordinate. Maybe I want to start with 0, so I can just input value is 0, 0, 0, and I can press enter. So that will be the starting points. And I want to move to the, let's say X is still 0. So I can put 0X. Maybe I want to move up. So Y, let's say around 45, and the Z will be 0. And I can continue to draw again. Let's say for this case, X is 20, Y is 50, and Z is, let's say, around negative 20, for example. So you can input the value that you want to draw from here. Right, so again, when you draw something that the line, for example, or maybe the arc, so this coordinate will show. So if you want to change how you draw the coordinate, you can find the button from here. We have relative or absolutes. So currently I'm relative. So if you need to change into absolute coordinate, so just click over here, and currently my drawing will be on the absolute. If I want to reposition my triad, so I can just click triad from here. Or if I want to move back my my sketch into the origin point, so it will move back to the 0 origin point. But when you turn on the option for a coordinate like this, right, the precise input, so you will find that you can no longer input the length and also the angles. So for that, you need to turn off this precision input over here. So just click at the mini toolbar options here, and then you can click close. Now my length and also the angle option can now be input. But for this case, let me just delete this one. Right, so if I have a lines and also right, so if I have a lines between these two lines over here, and I would like to create a band. So for that, you can use the band option right over here. So currently the default is 5, for examples. I can just click, and I can click another line, right? So this line might not be probably not have enough length. So I need to draw again one examples, let's say for this case here, and this case here. So if I want to put a band, so I can just put band over here and should be able to create a band like this. But again, if I want to make it auto, then I can just right click and turn on the auto band from here. So it's automatically create the band for me. But if you see over here, so it is automatically create a band around 5mm radius. So you cannot actually change from here. So if you use band, so this one should not be a problem. You can just input any value that you want. But once you have enter, it will reset back to 5mm. So what if I would like to use with the auto band right here, so that it will automatically create band, but I don't want this to be 5mm. So what you can do is that you can go back to tools here, and then you can go to the document settings. And from here, you can select unit. You can select the sketch. And down here, you should be able to see the 3D sketch from here. So let's say I would like to reduce a bit, let's say around 2.5, for example. So next time, if I create a sketch, you will find that the automatic band will be 2.5 instead. Right, so that is where you can change the the value for the bend. Right, so that is for lines. So we also have other options, spline, arc that I showed you before. We also have elliptical curve if you want to. So it will give you a set of properties for you to create. Maybe I want my diameter to be, let's say, around 15 diameter. I want my pitch to be, let's say, around 15. That is the type of things that you can input from there. Right, so let me just delete this one. So that is for the normal draw here. If you want to modify it, we have these modifying tools, allow you to edit, allow you to trim. So maybe I would like to trim this one, but if you want to trim, you must make sure that the line is intersect. It cannot have the line simply on top of each other like this. It looks like it intersect, but it's actually not. If I try to trim, then it should not be able to trim along this line. So the line must be on the other line, right? For example, if I have this line here, I have something like this. Now I should be able to trim since this two line is definitely intersect. So I can just use trim and it will allow you to trim. Right, so same goes, you also have the extend button over here if you want to extend, and then you can just use the extend. Now, most of the things that can be useful over here is that we have the 3D transform. So this one allow you to modify the positions, the rotation of the sketch. So maybe I like to move this one downwards. So I can just click at the 3D transform and I can click at the line here and allow me to basically move it around. Right, maybe I would like to rotate. So I can just use this rotate button right here. Maybe I move it at the other side, for examples, like that. Right, so there are different options that you can create from here. So if you would like to change the location of the triad over here, so you can just use locate. Maybe I would like to locate somewhere at a point over here. So currently I'm still selecting this line, but I move the point on top of this button. So if I try to move, then you can see it's actually moved from that particular point. Right, so if I want to move, it's basically move from that point. So that is the 3D transforms, allow you to edit your 3D sketch. With this, since we have added the lines and we can input the value for the length and also the diameter, so that will be constraints. So the constraints can also be applied later on by using these constraint tools here. So currently, if I want to edit, so I can just double click and I can edit the value, maybe make it somewhere around 100 only. Okay, so probably because I already have certain constraint. But let's say if I were to edit this, let's say make it 10, for example, now you should be able to see it's allow you to edit. Maybe I want to put these dimensions because I haven't put that dimension previously. And you should be able to see that you can still input the constraints dimension later on. So other things that we have from the dimension, we also have the coincidence, allow you to click one point to another points. Maybe I would like to join these 2 points right over here so that you can use the coincidence if I want the line to be aligned together. So I have this collinear, allow you to align. If I want to lock, basically making the line become fully constrained. So I can also do something like that. And you can see the line become black, which means that the line cannot be moved anymore. So it become fully constrained. Right. So we have several other things. Maybe I would like to make the line become straight. For examples, we have the X, Y, and Z, and it will follow the actual coordinate that we have from here. Maybe there are certain lines that not really align with our axis, so you can just use this one. So I believe my line here already aligned with the axis, but let's say if I would like to make this line follow with the X, so I can just use the X here. You can see the red line indicate the directions. So if I click, okay, so right now this one probably because this one already being constrained with these two, so it cannot be changed anymore. But let's say if I create this one line here and I put this line, then you can see it's now aligned with the x-axis over here. Right, so you can just find several constraints from here. And other things that you can look up from here is that we have the draw button. So this one is quite useful if you would like to create a very flexible curve, especially on top of other geometry, especially for solid geometry. So for this case, let's say if I open one examples. Okay, let me just open one listing files that I have from here. All right, so let's say if I have this curve area over here, curve shape, all right, very flexibles. And I would like to draw some 3D sketch on top of this. So by all means, you can also do that directly from 2D sketch. So for example, if I create another plane, here, or I already have a plane over here, so let me just turn this one on. And I can create a 3D sketch and make a circles right over here. And also some spline. Right. So, oops, right. Before I finish my sketch, I still can create a 3D sketch right from here, right from the 2D. So let me just turn off the work plane. So under here, we have the project geometry and we have project to 3D sketch. So this one allow you to create a sketch on top of the other solid. So if I click over here, project to 3D, I can select this face and automatically it will apply all of the sketch that I have over here. Right, but I don't have much selections that I able to sketch. I just select this face here and automatically it will select both of these line here. So maybe I would like to have more options. So instead of doing that from the 2D sketch, you can just go to the finish. And then I can select the start 3D sketch from here. And I can use some of the tools that I have over here. So include geometry is basically the normal geometry that we have from the 2D one, right? So I can just use this one to basically find the centers or some things. So I don't have to do that. But what I would like to do here is that I would like to project to surface. So this is the same tools that we have on the 2D sketch. But if I click over here, I have 3 additional settings. And when I click the face to select, I have options to select what are the curves that I would like to bring. Maybe I don't want to bring everything, so I can select only this part over here. So it will only show this part only. And you can also go back and edit, maybe make it slightly smaller. So you will see that it will automatically update the size from here. Right, so that is the first options, basically the same things. We also have project to closest points. If I were to click this and I click this curve over here, and you should be able to see it's exactly what you see from the front here. So maybe I would like to put these lines on top of this surface over here, and I would like this to only bring the closest one to the surface. So it will try to calculate and find which is the closest, this point here, on which surface, this one here, on which surface is the closest one. And once it's identify the closest area, and it will automatically put this line into the surface. So let me just show you an examples. So I select this face and I'm going to select this project to closest point. So this will be, oh, okay, so the curve. So this will be the curve here. When I click OK, then you should be able to see that I try to calculate which is one is the closest one. So that is the project to surface with the project to closest point. And lastly, we have the route to surface. So this one is basically if you have a long line and you want to roll around the cylindrical surface, so you can use this route to surface over here. So one example here is if I have this cylinder here and I create a line me just click the line from here to here. And also this line here, this line here. And I'm going to quick line drop down. So basically what it will do is that it will wrap this line here on the cylindrical surface around here. Let me just close this plane. Right. So let's go back to the 3D sketch. And when I click the project to 3D project to surface, and click wrap to surface here. So this will be the face. And this tree here will be the curve. And you should be able to see that it will be wrapped along this cylindrical surface. So that is the project to surface. So other things that we have over here is that we can also create a curve on face. Now this one is basically if I don't want to use 2D, so directly I want to draw on top of this surface over here. So that I can use the curve on, of course, curves on face. So I can just click over here and allow me to basically just draw any point direction that I want to. And you should be able to see something like this. So directly it becomes 3D and on top of this surface. So other similar options that you have with the project to surface is that we have the intersection curve and also silhouette curve. So this one is basically if you have a plane, right, and then you want to basically cut this section here using plane, so you can use the silhouette curve. So for example, if I use this plane here, maybe I want to, let's say, oh, let me just undo that. Maybe this face here. Okay, let me just move this face around, right? So maybe somewhere around here. So if I want to, I can also rotate an angles so that it will not just be a straight line like this. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like this. Let me just turn off the visibility from here. And I would like to cut this using this plane here. So for that, you can use the 3D face silhouette curve. And I can just select this this plane here, and then you should be able to see. Oh, okay, I need to select. Right, so for some reason that's not allow. So let me just undo that. Right, so let me just show you one simple examples. With the 3D here, I'm just going to use the normal plane that I have by default, which is the origin plane here. Maybe this planes. So I can use this silhouette curve, right? And I can select which plane that I want. Maybe this plane. Right? And then you should be able to see it is now cut around this area. So not really cut, just mark a line along the area. Right? Or maybe I have a 3D surface. Right? Maybe I have a 3D surface, something like this, for examples. And I would like to extrude this. So basically, this is the area that I want to mark with the line here. All right, so for that, you can use the same methods. And this time we can use the intersection curve. So you can select the geometry, which is the plane, sorry, the surface, and we can select the face area that we want it to show. So it will show you the plane area like this. Right, so that is the 3D sketch. Right, so there are a few things, a few examples how this one can be useful. One of those things is that, let's say if I would like to split the face, for example, this area here, so I can just use the split face. I can select the tools here, and I can split, let's say this face. So when I click OK, then you should be able to see it is now a separate face. So not very clear over here. But if you change the visual style to edges, then you should be able to see the edges right here. Right, maybe I would like to make a small cut inside, so I can use thicken or offset. Okay, maybe make it cut inside. Then you should be able to see something like this, right? So you can use that. You can create cut like this very fast, right? Very quickly by using this sketch, right? Or you can also use that with other tools. Maybe I would like to create a sweep, to create a pipings and so on. Or you can also do a design accelerator, right? By using 3D sketch. Right? For example, here, if I have, let me show you. Okay, for example, here, maybe I would like to have a piping connection on top of this. Maybe I would like to have uh, frame design, right? So I can go inside over here and I can create a 3D sketch, maybe starting with the line here. Let's say I put this one around 300 examples. And I just move it, this one, just roughly around, let's say 500. And I would like to move up 200. And later on, I can put a frame over here. And maybe I would like to put piping connections or flexible hose, something like that. So I can use several things such as splines or lines. So for example, like this, I would like to put a pipe. So I can just use a line. And if I want to, I can add a bending line over here. But for this case, I'm just using a normal line. Okay, let me just change the axis. Okay, for some reason, it does not allow me to, okay, right. Say this one around 500. Then I want to move along this axis. And I can go back to the assembly. And with the, oh, let me just go back to assembly. Okay, for this case, I can use the frame design to create a frame on this line here. So you can see when using the frame, you need to have a lines sketch, or you can also use the edge that I have over here. So with this 3D, it's allow you to add the frame easily. Or maybe I have a piping connection that I need to do. So I can go to, let me just change the wedges, right? Then I can go to the environment over here and I can add a 2-in pipe. So normally you can just design the 2-in pipe right from here, but if you already create a route, so you can just quickly create that by using the 2-in pipe from here. Right, so from here we have the driver route. And when I click OK, so I might need to change the size, but this one is just an examples. Okay, so probably my piping line might not be too large, right? But usually you should be able to create a pipe from here. So that is example of 3D sketch, right? So that is all I would like to share with you guys. So thank you everyone for joining this free online lessons. So I hope I can see you guys again on our next free online lesson. So have a nice day and bye-bye.